Now, we're joined by 3 of the 4 members of Not Even Death.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Unfortunately, we're not joined by the proverbial man of the hour, but we may or may not get to him later. So, first of all, I guess the reason you guys are here is Justin, your guitar player, is actually leaving the band.
Yep.
Now, how long have you guys known, and how long was it before it was sort of made public?
It was September when we made it public. It was at the back-to-school beatdown.
And we probably knew since August.
Late August.
Yeah. So we kind of kept it under wraps to sort of unveil that at the right time.
Yeah. He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
And he's a daddy real soon.
He had wanted to talk to us about leaving the band right after we got back from Cornerstone. And but a lot of stuff happened in between when we got back from Cornerstone and the end of August. And he just wanted to find that right moment when he could just kind of get us all to sit down.
Yeah, he was very careful about telling us when.
Yeah. He didn't want to, like, I don't know, hurt any feelings any more than he needed to. So.
Did you guys have any inklings prior to that this might happen?
Yeah.
Sort of when he said, hey, Nicole and I are pregnant.
Yeah.
We were like, oh.
Well, yeah.
Good job. Congratulations. And we knew kind of, I think, at that moment that...
We knew that as the band got busier.
Yeah, his role as a father would take over.
And he became more and more pregnant.
Yeah.
Somewhere, something was going to happen.
Yeah.
So there was no real shock, I guess.
No.
Well, he is married. I mean, it's not like it was a surprise.
No.
Well, it was a surprise when they got there.
Well, yeah. It was like a, whoa, you're going to be a dad. That's weird.
So
you get that feeling where everyone's growing up but you.
You're like, yeah, I'm in a band. Wear band shirts.
So you're essentially saying that amongst the 3 of your minds, that has to be kind of a separate thing. You can't see yourselves doing a family and doing a band?
I think in terms of the way Justin is doing things, that's what's best for him. I see it working for certain situations. I don't know, like...
Consider all of Justin's life, though. He's so busy, we haven't been able to get him in for a band practice for the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. He's working really hard, and he's getting money and supporting his future family. And I think, if anything, I really respect him for actually having, I don't know, the ability to leave a band that he really cares about, because he really does care about our band, and it's really hitting him hard. His wife actually, oddly enough, actually told him to stay in the band, and he was like, no, I can't do both.
I guess it's sort of like a thing. He knew that as long as he's going to be this busy with his life, he can't be all in with the band, and he didn't want to have like one foot in.
He didn't want to hold the band back.
The point is, he was going to be either all in or all out.
Yeah. And with all the stuff he was already doing, it just made sense.
When he told you guys, was there ever the thought that, did you guys have to sort of reevaluate where you guys wanted to go with the band?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Especially musically, I guess.
And then you got to go through the whole, is it worth shopping for another guitar player?
Yeah. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
That's a big thing to go
when
through.
we went through it before with Your Portrait Here, because when we were all members of that band before we switched the name over when we got Justin, and we took a year before we found Justin.
Played a couple shows just without
we played
guitar.
a couple shows as a 3-piece, and
That's
that was
so sick of it.
Nightmare. And you know what? It's important, I think, to go through those stages of your life where you just everything sort of sucks, because you come out sort of on top, no matter what. But yeah, it sucked. And so, like, when we found out that Justin was leaving, I think we all, in the back of our mind, were like, oh no.
Not this again.
Not again.
I guess we'll have to go on Facebook and be like, Ottawa guitarist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Have you guys started the search?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have. And we continue to sort of keep things open. Right now we're working with a young gentleman
From Perth.
from Perth,
Hey, Matt.
Ontario, and he's actually played a couple of gigs with us out of town. We're sort of trying to feel things out and see if things
It's
work
going
out.
pretty good so far.
Wrestling with him, you know.
Yeah, literally, and yeah. So, but I think right now we're just at a stage where we're not really willing to commit to any one person. We just want to sort of, like Matt's our primary writer. So if he's writing, as long as he's writing, we can still do our thing, and as long as people fill in for us. So we just, I guess we're the songwriters, and we sort of get random guitar players
Until we
in
can find someone that's just
who clicks, who really clicks.
So what exactly are you looking for then? If random guitar player X walks in here and says, "Hey, what do I have to do to?"
a couple of obvious things. If he's got any serious personality issues, that's a problem.
Yeah.
If anyone who's
yeah.
got the commitment, the musical competence, and the ability to do it is, you know, if
A
he's
cut
got
above.
the free time and
Yeah.
financially capable.
It's not like our guitar parts
But
are
there's-
hard.
I
you
think
know.
there's always gonna be that X factor, that thing that you're like, I don't know what it is that we liked so much about Justin and why we're like, hey, we want this crazy person in our band.
He was a little crazy.
Because he was totally, like, out of all three of us, I think he brought us most outside of our boxes as people. You know, he brought us outside of our comfort zones. And so, like, it was a risk letting him join the band because he's quite a personality. You know, he's rich in personality.
Yeah.
So, like, when he joined the band, we were all kind of like a bunch of squares and he is the circle. And we kind of, like, all turned into a bunch of rounded edge squares, I think.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. But he definitely rubbed off on all of us. And I love him for it. I think he's made us all better people.
Definitely.
At least he's given us all better senses of humor, for better or for worse. But yeah,
Or childish.
yeah.
There's for the people out there listening, there's no real danger of the band being done.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
It's kind of what I do anyway. Just like studio stuff. Always working
I
on
think
music.
tears and emotions aside, because it is a really difficult step for us to, you know, be moving on from Justin, you know, this Justin era. All of that aside, I'm actually really excited about the direction that our writing has taken, and I'm not gonna like say
Spoil.
for sure, but like I'm pretty sure early 2012 we'll have an album, and it's gonna be nothing like our last album. It'll have nuances, but it's gonna be really, really good, and I'm actually really excited about
Really good.
it.
Totally good.
So,
How
Yeah.
far along have you guys started the process of that yet?
Say we've
Five.
got about a half album right now.
yeah,
5 songs.
yeah, and we've been working pretty fast. So, and
And-
it's not like a rushed process either. It's like Matt's just
Always here.
he's
always,
like in this creative like realm that he has, and he's just like all boxed in. He's like, I'm gonna focus and write. And he plays guitar as well, and he kind of plays little drums. So it's really, really fun to write with him because he just kind of knows what to.
kind of. But he has a little trouble with 3/4, but that's another issue.
It's just
No, Matt, that's wrong.
it's a blast because I know that no matter like I'll be sitting in my living room, and well Matt and I are dating, so I'm sitting in my living room. My boyfriend's on the couch playing guitar while Dexter's on TV, and I'm like, man, I like what you're playing on the guitar. That sounds really good. And he's like, yeah, it's just like something I'm working on. No, it's like
That's adorable.
it's sweet. Like
Yep.
and he's gonna he's
Welcome
actually
to my life.
he's actually so stoked on writing right now that he's gonna be going on tour with
My brother.
his brother and a young man named Johnny Mello,
Johnny Mello.
playing with this tour called the Absolute Tour, and it's like
Oh yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? And anyways, like motivational speakers who go into high schools and like have this band that plays like mainstream cool rock music and gets all the kids into it, whatnot. He's gonna be playing bass for them, and
Stoked.
but and so he'll be on a bus, and right now he's trying to find himself a rig so that he can record
And
his
write on
writing
the road.
on the road. Like he's that stoked on writing. So
That's kind
I'm
of what
thrilled.
we're doing right now is just, I guess we're not focusing too much on gigging right now.
No.
Like, we're booking tours for the upcoming year,
Yeah.
and we're just trying to solidly finish up an album right now.
Yeah.
So,
trying really hard not to play any
While
of the
finding
songs
a guitar
before
player.
we release it too.
Yeah.
Wow, trying out guitarists.
Yes.
Is it just coincidence that this sudden burst of creativity happens to fall as you guys are suddenly a man down?
I think,
Maybe it might be like a subconscious thing. It's like I'm realizing that okay, so we don't have to wait for Justin to record to write anymore
Yeah.
because he's not going to be doing it anyways. Let's just do it ourselves.
Yeah, because I think we always looked at it as like a group effort.
Yeah.
So we would just sort of wait for Justin to show up to practice, and then we would all
But-
write together.
But Matt, me, and Danny are always at my house.
And we're-
Always.
Like
Like
pretty much.
every day.
Even now.
Even right now. Like
Yeah.
we were just.
We
at
were
my house.
just there.
Yeah.
But no, it's true, and like I don't know, we just constantly have stuff going. But yeah, I think when sort of Justin sort of announced that, and as he's sort of been like letting go more and more, you know, because up until actually this week we haven't practiced with him for almost a month, I think, almost or before that. But no, we haven't seen him very much, so we're starting to
that
get used
busy.
to.
Yeah.
We're starting to get used to that dynamic of not having a guitarist, like a practice guitarist around, and jamming without a bassist and having Matt on guitar, which is weird, but it works somehow. I don't know how, but it works. It's fun. It's different, but it's fun.
Do you find that your, I guess, priorities and sort of goals with the band evolve now that you know, okay, this guy has obviously all these different life goals at the moment, so we have to accommodate that. Now all of a sudden, that's gone. What do we want to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at first, after hearing Justin, you know, like he was gonna be doing this and going to be a dad, and I sort of started getting comfortable and sort of being like, okay, maybe we're not gonna do anything, or I don't even know where not even that's gonna be going. And I sort of have like it's been sort of percolating, but I definitely have a renewed sense of, oh my gosh, my band is gonna do stuff, because I guess I started sort of saving for like moving out, you know, doing that thing where you know you grow
You're an
up
adult.
and you're an adult
Like
and
he's doing.
you pay
Yeah.
bills and you
Well,
know,
like he did. Like,
and then like
Rubbing
I
off on us.
had this epiphany the other day that I'm just gonna save money and then spend it on tour.
Yeah, tour.
Basically, that was my epiphany. I was like, you know what? I'm long overdue for putting in my dues, and I'm old, but I've got a lot of miles that I still have that I want to travel. And a side note, over this past summer, I lost my cousin. He was my age, and he was in a tragic bike accident. He was biking down a hill in Kelowna and crashed into a wall. And he was in a coma for a couple of days, and then he passed away because the brain injury was just too intense. But the way he lived his life was pretty much as full as possible. He was always outdoors. You know, he lived in Kelowna, so he was always on the hills every winter. You know, he just made the most of his life. No, anyway, he made the most of his life, and sort of, I guess, in my dealing with the grief and getting over his passing, I sort of discovered that, you know, I wanted to live my life sort of as a legacy towards, like, just sort of, you know, like, I learned from him that I shouldn't waste any time we get 650,000 hours, give or take, in our life. And why waste it? And I have so many things that I want to do with this band, and I'm young. Whether or not I'm maybe on the older end of young, I'm still young. So.
But you're talking about you want to do as many things within the band. Are there
Yeah.
other things that you guys want to do personally? Because obviously he does, and he's
Yeah.
sort of reached that point. Do you see a point where you guys reach that?
A limit?
Yeah.
What is limit?
I don't know,
The
like,
thought always lurking.
yeah, it is always in the back
Yeah.
of our minds, I think. I think especially, like, Mike is dating a wonderful young woman named
Wonderful,
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
And And Matt and I have obviously been dating for a really, really long time now. And whereas most couples, especially the couples that we hang around, are married, have kids, you know. And I think the pressure is definitely there to, you know, sort of settle down and fall into the little houses on the hillside, sort of, you know. But I've never been the type of person to want to, like, try to fit into a mold, so I don't know why I should ever start now. I mean, eventually, I'm sure somehow, some way, we'll settle down. Grow up. But I don't know what that means. You know, I don't know if that's, okay, let's move to suburbia, or Orleans, let's move into Orleans.
You do live in suburbia.
Yeah, let's move to Orleans just like our parents did, and, you know, like, get government jobs and, like, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's us. Or if it's like, let's get married and go on tour for our honeymoon.
Let's tour to Vegas.
And live in a van.
And then get married in Vegas.
I don't know what it's going to look like. But I'm definitely open. Because I don't think that people should limit themselves, especially when it comes to their dreams. And, you know, obviously we have dreams, and I don't think even in the day and age we live in now, that people should give up on those types of things. I think it's important.
Jeez, we're talking about him like he's already gone. Still got one
dead.
show. Yeah.
He's not dead. He's just sleeping somewhere right now, probably.
Actually, I think
you can call him up or something.
We may or may not be calling him up. If Ted can get the phone number, we may harangue him. If somebody wants to give Ted the phone number, we may harangue him on the phone.
We might call you.
While Ted's getting that going.
Can you give me a pen?
Yeah.
I'll give you
The show is, there's a big show happening this weekend. I guess the last show that he's.
This Saturday, his last show with us. He's very excited. We're all excited.
It's gonna be effing amazing.
The emotions must just be, through the roof.
I don't know. We'll find out then.
Whenever I'll tell you, like today we practiced and it was like wow, this is like one of the last times.
Hasn't hit me yet, but
it's like kind of inkling.
It's been coming in waves with me. Like, it'll be like, okay, you know, I'm taking him for granted, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, Justin.
I remember like when we first got him, like when we picked him up from the shelter. No,
turned him into a proper young man. Groomed him for marriage.
Not quite. Actually, the other way around.
No, we wrecked him.
I think we wrecked him.
We destroyed him.
Poor Nicole. Sorry, Nicole.
Anyway, no, like I remember we were always just kind of like, okay, yeah, he's kind of cool, but like his skills over the years have been like improving so much, and just the way he works, like me, Matt, and Danny, like. When I go to record bands in the studio, like I notice certain things, and like I could not believe, like last time we recorded, when we recorded the song that we're probably gonna play today, his rhythmic like attentiveness, I haven't really seen that in a guitarist.
I started this thing, was it on our practice a couple of days ago, when I was like, you know, sometimes you just want Justin to be there because you're like, what would I do? And then I thought, you know, all those Christians with those WWJD bracelets, which I hate, by the way. I think they're really cliche and gross. But I thought I should get one, and then if someone asks me what it says, I'll be like, what would Justin do? Because, man, that guy knows how to write. He's so much fun.
We had one of those moments writing on our own.
Like, man, what should we put next? What would Justin do?
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, just go kind of goofy. Yeah.
All right, so anything special planned for the, you guys, it seems like pretty, I see your rings already.